What if the secret to living longer, healthier, more fulfilled life is not found in the supplements, the green juices, the 10K runs, but in your brain? Most longevity advice out there is missing the most powerful piece of the puzzle. Your brain needs to be fueled well, activated well, and recover and restore well. So if your brain is completely overstimulated, overactivated, and yes, phone and scrolling does that, or does not get the appropriate time to recover and restore, you will still age faster than you should. Welcome, I'm Heike Fallon. I'm a high performance coach, neurosports therapist, and the creator of the NeuroHP method, a brain-based roadmap for health, personal performance, and true longevity. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your brain is the foundation of lasting vitality, and more importantly, how to optimize starting today, how to optimize your brain today. You'll learn some science-based strategies. I've used them over 20, 30 years actually, for myself, with high performers, professionals, and people that care about longevity, to stay sharp, strong, energized for the long haul. So if you want to have a fulfilled, happy life without burnout, without overwhelm, and without decline, this is for you. So let's start a little bit with some brain information. The brain controls everything. Yes, it is actually not just your mind, it's your control center for every system in your body. It regulates your heart rate, your hormones, digestion, immune system, definitely movement, and yes, your emotions. So if your brain is not functioning well, nothing else can function well. So that means your workouts won't be as effective. Your nutrition won't be absorbed possibly the same way. Your recovery won't be as efficient. And to cope with stress and create resilience won't be as well processed. So brain health isn't just mental health, it's a whole body health, it's a whole system. And that is the key to sustainable longevity. So two terms I'd like to first address: lifespan and health span. So our current medical system really is all about lifespan, right? More years, longer life, and who wants to live 90 but can't remember anything? Can't move without any pain. Nobody really wants that. So it's not just about the length we're living, but really about the health span. It's the number of years that you feel healthy, sharp, cognitively, independent. That's real longevity. So we're looking really for longer living, but healthier living. So the lifespan is important, but also the health span is very important. And the foundation of health span is not just diet or fitness, it's actually your brain, because a strong brain keeps your body younger. A regulated brain keeps your stress low. A healthy brain keeps your relationships really vibrant and gives you that joyful life. And when we look at research, one thing is definitely clear: cognitive function is a good predictor for long-term health, and much more than many physical measures. Chronic inflammation in the brain is definitely linked to accelerated aging, so neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and even cardiovascular issues. The brain also shrinks with age, not because it has to, but often shrinks because of disuse, because of chronic stress, because of poor nervous system regulations. And here's the cool news: your brain has plasticity, means it can grow, it can change, create new neural connection, and it can adapt to what you do. The key is you want to have it adapt to the good things, right? Through neuroplasticity, we can strengthen certain brain areas or specific brain areas more intentional, and that can help us with memory and focus, balance, mobility, and pain. So you literally can train your brain to stay younger longer. And so most people don't realize their brain is completely underperforming until they're already affected by it, and that's often too late. We want to really see the signs early and address it. So number one thing is usually if you feel that energy crash, you feel brain fogged, you feel difficulty concentration, maybe poor emotional regulations, the sensory overload. So if you're very sensitive to sound or light, definitely sleep a big one, chronic pain, and general lack of motivation. So if any of those things apply to you, it's time to really look at what you need to change and possibly really intentionally activate your brain to counterbalance this. So these were not all like lifestyle issues. These are actually neurological signals that your brain needs something, okay? We need to address that specifically. And once you know what to look for, you can actually work on these different things. So your brain talks to your body 24/7 through the nervous system, right? That communication impacts every outcome in your health. So when your brain senses safety, it's actually shifting into a healing mode. So, digestion improves, your hormones are better balanced, inflammation markers usually drop, you have less pain most of the time, and you can focus better. If the brain constantly perceives a threat, which you may or may not be aware of, right? It stays in that survival mode. This can be caused by like trauma, injuries, stress, obviously, but it can also by simply your visual system or your vestibular system, your inner ear not functioning well enough. So usually signs are if you get, really tired in the car sick, for example, might be a sign your vestibular system is more on the weaker side. If you fall asleep reading really fast and you can't focus reading, that might be your visual system isn't functioning as well. And that's not necessarily clarity of vision, but it's actually about how the eyes function. They have muscles, and the muscles control the eyes, and you can train them because they're muscles. But the key is if your brain constantly is in survival mode and a threat response, that's how you easily burn out. That's how we age faster, right? So supporting your brain isn't about biohacks, it's about better inputs that create and regulate your nervous system, and that will also create a resilient mind. So let's get a little more practical. I have 5 ways you can support your brain today to get started, and that extends your health span and therefore also more likely your lifespan. So number one thing is always movement, right? I said your eyes need to move, right? It's not just your joints. You do want to use your joints, but you also want to move your eyes. You want to do vestibular exercise. That could be simply turning your head. It could be up and down movement. So different pathways activate the brain differently, and so you need all of them. That's really the cornerstone also of my NeuroHP method. Another big component, number 2, is breath work. Yes, breathing, diaphragmatic breathing actually helps really to calm the nervous system down via the activation of the vagus nerve, and that can shift us very quickly out of the fight and flight mode into the parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Third one, sleep. And yes, you might say, well, I sleep well. More likely, you don't know exactly the quality of your sleep unless you track it. And I highly recommend to do that, at least temporarily. I use the ring. You can use watches. Some are better than others, but essentially you want to really know how much deep sleep do you get, how much REM sleep do you get, how much do you really sleep, quantity and quality. It really matters because it's not just your body and brain basically resting and getting a break, but it's actually restoring. And it also particularly helps with the lymphatic system, which is basically the drainage system in our brain, and that is vital. And that all happens at night when you're sleeping. So sleep is non-negotiable. You absolutely need that. So really, even if you feel like you're sleeping enough and it's just the 6 hours, it may not be enough and it may not be good quality for you. So keep that in mind. Number 4, food matters. Yes, diet is actually a big subject, and I usually hate to go that very precise, because there's all these different diets and everybody says theirs is the best, but it isn't actually one diet necessarily. I'm going to give you a rough idea here. Reduce your sugar intake. It's not just the cookies, it's also soda and other drinks. Avoid processed foods, avoid additives in the food, and generally eating less is actually very beneficial because we all eat too much. So there's lots of research out there. So start first eating more real food, then processed food makes a big difference. And again, also being mindful how much and when you eat can be very impactful. So it's not about to stress out about it so much. It's oftentimes just when you eat at dinner, just eat until you're about 80% full, not 110% full. So that's on the diet for now, but it's definitely a big component of longevity. Number 5, it is absolutely vital to work on having a sense of meaning or purpose, and your mindset matters. So working on those components, if you've never done that, I have in my whole course a section for that as well. But the key is you need a purpose, and even if you're not 100% clear of it, you want to work on it. Gratitude practices help really strengthen the prefrontal cortex, and the mindset is not just some fluffy thing that we're talking about. There's actually neurochemical releases happening depending on how we think, and that makes a huge difference. So let's do a 5-minute brain longevity routine that helps you to kick all this off. And you don't need hours for this one, it's just 5 minutes. We're going to do it right now. So first one, I'm going to set my timer here for 1 minute. We're going to do 1 minute different circles, joint mobility. So you're going to do finger circles and just go through a couple of them. And the other hand. Good. Then we can do wrist aids. They're a little more complicated. If you have a hard time with these, you can also do circles just like that. Okay. We can do shoulder rolls. And the other way around. Excellent. You may do just hip circles, so kind of like a hula hoop. Good. Now you won't see me right now, but you can do hip circles as well, ankle circles, any joints, keep moving through different ones. That was already 1 minute. So we're gonna reset the timer right now and actually do now a breathing drill for 1 minute. And that's what we're gonna do is inhaling using the diaphragm, expanding really well, and then exhaling kind of a little slower, ideally at least 6 seconds. So if we inhale 4, we wanna do the exhalation a little longer. Here we go, we're gonna turn the timer on for a minute. So you can check here or give yourself a little sensory stimulus. So inhale and exhale. I like to right now inhale through the nose and exhale. Try to see if you can expand the belly and the back. And long exhale. Now see if you can inhale and exhale and slightly hold the breath and inhale and relax. That was again a minute. Next one is 1 minute of eye exercises. Here we go. Gonna Gonna just stand, have your eyes just looking at a target right now. Okay, if you're not feeling comfortable, you can absolutely sit down. So just stand nice and tall, look at a target with your eyes. And now we're gonna find a target on the top left, and it can be further away, that's fine. And then a one that's further down. So I'm looking up and I'm looking down. I'm not moving my head, so I'm switching. It's called saccades. I'm going diagonal right now. Good. Then we're going to switch the other side. Find a target up there and down there. So other diagonal. Excellent. Then we're going to hold the finger out in front, just right eye level, and you're going to move out and back. And the minute is already over, but we're going to finish this one. So you're going to move and keep your eyes on the finger, or you can use a pen and move it closer and back out. Only move it as close as you still see one finger, and it should not get super blurry. And that was 1 minute of eye exercises. Now we're going to do 1 minute for your vestibular system. So your vestibular system is your inner ear, very important to know where you are in space. Now there's different ways to do it. We're going to start the timer again. You can just do a little bouncing. That actually activates a certain area in the vestibular system. So bouncing is 1. You can do little squats, so the up and down movement still. Good. Now we're going to just stop, look at a target ahead of time. We're going to keep the eyes there, and now turn the head side to side with keeping the eyes on the target. Good. And up and down. Eyes are still on the target. Excellent. You can absolutely also do diagonals. We're going to use the finger again. Now you're going to look at your finger and you turn your head with the finger in front of you, turning. So I'm only turning my head, not my whole body. And the other side. And the minute is already up again. Very well. There you go. And the last minute of the 5 minutes is a short gratitude practice. So what I would like you to do is you can either close your eyes or take a pen and pencil and write it down. But for 1 minute right now, write down what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. And it could be, ideally you want to see something with relationships, something related to work, something about your health. Those, try to hit different categories, and take a moment right now to write down at least 3 things that you feel grateful for, and also take a moment and check in on how it makes you feel. So if you're grateful for, let's say, your children, be more specific, like what is it that you're grateful for with your children? How does it make you feel? And really internalize it. I like to close my eyes and really visualize that as well. Now, that was already a minute, but you get the point. You can even just think of one thing to be grateful for 1 minute, but you are welcome to also extend it. It does not hurt to do longer, but this is the quick 5-minute activation of different areas that will absolutely kickstart you for longevity. Now, that alone will not do it, but it is a great way to start a daily habit, and you can always add on to that one once you establish the consistency. So longevity isn't about living just longer while slowly falling apart. It's all about living fully with energy, clarity, and joy, and as long as possible, right? So when is a good time to start this? Today. No matter what age you are, start today. Start actually intentionally activating different brain areas. And instead of asking, how is my body? Ask, how is your brain? Because The brain, again, regulates everything, and the better your brain works, the better it also works for your whole life. So the foundation really is everything I teach here in the NeuroHP method and is part of my course for NeuroHP longevity. So if you like this video and you know somebody who really could benefit from it, please share it with them. We want to make sure lots of people do get this information. So again, now is a good time to train your brain, to reclaim your energy, and start really the first step to a longer, more powerful, happier life. Until then, keep the momentum.